Hello. Again, no music. We lost our music. So, Chris Paul, thank you. Hi, Chris. Mr. Warrior. Um, we're not allowed music anymore, so give us a few seconds for this to start. Savvy's texting me right now as I'm going to have to leave this for a quick second, and I don't know why he's texting me. Savvy's telling, let's go. Savvy, I'm on. We're here. I'm waiting. Normally I start off with music and, okay, you join, but Savvy, you have to go on the bottom and you have to ask to join, which you didn't, which you said you knew what you were doing, which I thought you did, but you don't. So I'm going to go get you. So, Savvy. Okay. I sent you an invite. You're supposed to jump on in this in the next couple seconds and I'll bring you back on. Okay? So just give it a sec, Savvy. You were supposed to know what you're doing, by the way, which you don't just yet, which is kind of normal. And you're Savvy. Anyway, so this is perfect because I thought I'd have to have him come on right away. And he's not coming on just yet. So normally I came on with music the last couple of weeks, and then what happens, we got in trouble. We had Sean Corrali on, and they actually went to put it. There he is. Sean Corrali went to come on, and the problem is with that, Instagram wouldn't let us put it on with the music that we were putting it on, so we had to cancel it, and it was a bit of a pain in the ass. So, Coach, how are you?
Good. How are you, buddy?
I'm good. I normally go on and tell stories before you come on, but you were on a little too early. He was texting me, yelling at me for being late. So thanks for doing this, bud. I normally tell stories and tell like the guests to wait a couple of seconds before they get on, but you were a little tech savvy with this. So,
yeah, I'm not the greatest on these things, but I got in here. We're ready to go.
You look good. Where are you?
I'm at Chief's house in St. Louis, staying with him until we head off to this hub.
You guys have bunk beds?
Yeah, he's on the top. I get the bottom.
Yeah. Well, normally I tell a couple stories about I can't really do it because you're kind of on, but I will tell you one or two that I always tell a couple Marc Savard stories, which kind of they're pretty funny. One of them was your first year in Camp Savvy, and I was coming out of St. Effects, and you were the big dog coming into camp. It was Hartford, New York. We started together, and what was funny about it was so for people listening, when players come to training camp, every like rep, like Warrior, they want you in their stuff. CCM wants you in their stuff. Marc was the big dog. So Marc had like every company coming up to him and kind of asking him to wear his stuff. And Marc was one of those guys that played it like, oh yeah, your stuff's great. Just put it in my rack. And then 2 seconds later, the Bauer rep would come over and Marc would be like, hey, I like your stuff. Put it in my rack. It was his first year. It was like a kid in a candy store. So what he didn't know was here I am watching this was pretty much the same age, this young superstar coming into the league that I wanted to be like Marc. I wanted to get the attention. I wanted everything. So while Marc was collecting all this, I was actually going into his stall and I was stealing Savard stuff when he really wasn't looking. So I don't know if you guys can see, but these are old Marc Savard sticks. And I used them these are the blades, which were horrendous, but I used them for my career, which I don't know how it worked. You amassed 706 points. I amassed 26. So I don't know where I went wrong. I was the right blade. It says your name right on it. It was. I had your gloves. I had your old Nike gloves. I had as well. I stole everything from you. So you stole some money from me. So we'll let that go. So how's life, Coach?
Life's good, buddy. Yeah, those sticks are a little short. That was your problem. You supposed to put on those? So,
I know. I know. I had to put the shaft. I know. Thanks. Actually, I was going to talk about this later at the end, but you are kind of a stick savant. Like prior to getting onto this and doing some radio, you were kind of doing a gig where you were showing how guys in the league tape their sticks. Or
yes, I was taping twigs. It was called, and yeah, I've always had an eye for that stuff. And when I was playing, I'd always do tape jobs with different guys in practice just to fool around. I always had my go-to, but I just like to fool around and get a different look. So I started sharing them with people, and then it went crazy. So part of it was a Project 91 thing too, for concussion research to raise money. It all blended in, but it went really well, and we'll probably get back to doing it here once maybe this journey of coaching is over.
anybody who had the weirdest one?
The weirdest one, I'd have to say Pasternak's, but the story to Pasternak's tape job, everybody thinks, oh, that's so ugly. The actual true story is, I think he was from the Czech Republic, and the family didn't have a ton of money, so he'd get a roll of tape. Here's something, make this last the year. So he'd do a little bit of a spiral, and then at the bottom, he'd do another one on the blade. So that was how people thought, oh, that's an ugly tape. That's just how much tape he had at the time. So that's how that tape job originated, and he's stuck with it, and obviously he's done pretty well with it.
You think he's done okay?
Doing okay. I think he's got a good wrist shot.
He's not bad. I think he's doing okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You look good. You look good. The hair game's tight. Beard game's tight. You look good.
Yeah, thank you. No, this COVID thing, my wife's vegan, so I went a little vegan with her for about 3 months and was running and stuff, and yeah, I feel good because this year with the team, this chief eats steak 4 times a week, and I wasn't cutting it for me. So,
Well,
and he might have the odd water with the steak, so I got to put that behind the 8 ball. So yeah, this COVID thing, I really kicked it into high gear and started running again, and yeah, I feel really good.
Normally, I tell the guys to have a drink while they're on, but I figured Craig Berube would be watching you, so I'm having tequila for you. Yeah, have your Perrier. It's not gonna help you. I'll have this. Tell Berube I'm having it for him. Anyways, another one of my before we get into a lot of stuff about Marc, one of my favorite stories about Marc was, again, he came into the league at 20 as this OHL superstar, and he had all the rookie cards. He led our team in scoring by about 100 points, but our team was the New York Rangers, which was our parent club, and we had our first 2 centers in New York were Gretz and LaFontaine. And whenever someone got hurt on one of the first lines, instead of calling up Marc, who was leading our team and all these, we would remember sitting around and watching games and hoping someone would get hurt. It's so wrong to say.
I had to admit, you can't admit that on live.
You can. You totally can. You just did. You did. Like, just say it.
I wasn't hoping for it. I was just sitting there and knowing that if someone got hurt, I think I was going to go up.
No. We would sit there in Hartford. So think of Hartford, for those that listen, Hartford was the old Hartford Whalers rink, so it was an NHL rink. So all the NHL rinks had a dressing room, like a living room, a workout room, whereas the American Hockey League team back then just kind of had like your locker room. So we'd all sit around on the couches and be like, he got hit. Oh, he's hurt. Oh, he got hurt. Savvy was the worst. So he's like, someone got hurt.
So the real story is we were playing one night and we were watching this thing in between periods. We used to go in between periods. Remember, put on down yet? No, nothing. So I remember who it was. It was one of the centermen. I don't think it was Gretz LaFontaine at that time. And someone got hurt. And I was playing pretty good. And I just said to the boys, I'm going to go take my gear off, boys.
Yeah.
I got to get out of here. Oh, that was a funny time. I remember, yeah. Sure enough, all that night, to make it even a better story, I got the call from I think it was Don Maloney back then. Remember, it was Don Maloney? Yeah.
Don Maloney. So we did go often where, again, I said Marc led us by about 1,000 points in the minors, and often when someone on our top few lines got hurt in our first year, though, instead of calling someone up from like our top player, Marc, what they do is they bump a second line guy up to the first line, third line up to the second, fourth up to the third, and they just bring a plug up to play with the plugs instead of putting Marc to play with a Darren Langdon. Langer, I'm sorry if you're listening. So I got called up a bunch back then, and in my first year, and So after each game, I'd come out and they're like, "Oh, awesome, Marc Savard, will you sign this?" I'm like, A, I'm not Marc Savard, and B, Marc isn't this good looking. So, but it was like day after day, week after week, and then February rolled around. Like, I didn't have a hockey card. You had OHL scoring star, you had Canada this, you had Ranger rookie cards. So finally in February, I was done, and I said, you know what? The same people keep calling me you, and I'm better looking. And you're like, so I finally said, I'll sign these cards. So Marc is MarcSavard. I was writing MarkSafard. So I apologize to those that I've ruined Savvy's rookie card. So, but hey.
Great that you brought up Langer, though, because he was a beauty. We both know that. And how you said they never called me up to play on his line. I did get called up to play on his line.
Yeah.
And it was quite priceless a couple of times. I can remember vividly sitting on the bench with him in the third period, and old Mox wasn't going to go to us. It was late in the game. And he grabbed me a right-handed stick because the stick roll was right there all the time, right? So he'd be like, here, give me your stick. I'm like, Langer, I don't shoot right-handed. He goes, you ain't going out again, kid. Give me the stick. Oh, we would go. Langer from tied. He had lefty and a righty both in his hand. Oh, we had some fun at the end of the bench there. Yeah,
that was pretty much your last year that you had a moment on the fourth line, because things kind of changed after that.
Yeah, they got better, that's for sure. I got a good opportunity the following season, and to be honest with you, how it all started, I had the run the first year. I came into camp the year that you were there, and I think I had 10 shots on net, and 9 of them went in. It was just one of those camps, and I made the team. And then when Coley got fired, I got sent down. Mux came in, and Mux looked at me and said, no, you're going to go down, kid. So I went down into Hartford and had a really good year with you guys. And then LaFontaine got his last injury, so I went up and cleaned up the last 10 games or something, but did nothing. And then came into camp next year, and I thought I felt pretty good. Good opportunity. That Vermont was fun. We had a lot of fun up in Vermont.
Yeah, Vermont.
Had a great
those rookie games. The rookie games.
So that's where it started. So that's funny you brought up. So we're playing. Remember they used to send like the good players home. We'd stay for a rookie game and play Montreal or something.
Yeah, sure.
So I ended up getting EJ
McGuire
was coaching the team, and he gives me this C in this rookie game, and anyways, whatever. Long story short, I ended up getting a hat trick, and I came off.
What's a hat trick? Just I don't. What's
a fight, an assist, and a goal? No, it's,
okay. You have to have the goal in.
Yeah. So, but no, I got a hat trick, and then I come off the ice, and Don Maloney grabbed me and said, "You got to hurry up and get changed. You got to get on the flight." So I went from going wherever we were going to back with the big boys, and made the team that year. And then, like I said, it was a short year, 35 games, and but it was a lot of fun.
Do you remember what rookie camp was like back then? Do you remember the rookie games? Like, for those that are listening, there was like, as Marc was saying, there would be like the NHL guys. By the way, someone just texted me that it's kind of on and off, back and forth, our Wi-Fi here, but it would be kind of the NHL guys would be kind of sent to play a big boy game. And then the minor league guys, or the guys, the rookies, or the American League guys, or the first round picks, had to play in this game where there wasn't really a puck. And that's probably the best way to sum it up.
Yeah. I remember going to these camps, and that's exactly what you're saying. Like, it was fight night. Like, who's going who, what's going to happen. And yeah, I wasn't really my type of hockey at that moment. Yeah. But I liked watching you though, boy.
Yeah, that first camp. I had no idea. Like, I was coming. I fought a bit in junior, but I still didn't know I didn't know much about playing pro hockey. I didn't know. I just started playing forward. I was defense my career before that. And Terry Ryan tried to beat the snot out of me every time I stepped on it. They just wanted to fight. It was fight after fight after fight after fight. And a guy like you you're like, what is going on here? We had Eric Bolton one game.
Boltsy, my boy. I played junior with him. I love Boltsy, yeah.
One of my favorite human beings. So I probably fought 20 times in the American League and NHL. Just a guy, just Eric was great. It's our first training camp together, and he's on my line. And Eric is a left-handed shot, but gets caught on the right wing. And as a fourth liner, what do we do when we get to center ice? We just dump the puck in and skate after it. Well, Eric is a left-handed shot with the wall here. He goes to shoot, dump it in, and as he does on the follow-through, the rules were a lot different, which we're going to get to in a second, gets smoked pretty hard from behind, and Eric kind of loses his marbles and chases the guy down. Well, the guy was actually going to change at that moment as the puck goes behind the net and the goalie's stopping it. So as the guy has one leg over the bench, Bolts just runs him into the bench and jumps into their bench. And it was we had a bench clear, 5 guys on the ice brawl. And think of this, there's 4 people in the stands watching, 4 scouts sitting beside each other. This happens in an empty rink. And that's what's going to be hockey's going to be like coming back anyways, which is going to be weird.
Yeah, no, it is going to be very weird. We've been trying to, we did an exhibition game. So I've gone from a media guy to a coach to a ref. I've been reffing the games, full gear on, feel pretty good out there, calling some stuff. But, yeah, it's quiet. It's going to be different for sure. There's no real way to prepare for it. I mean, we get one exhibition game but at least we get to play in this round robin. I know we want to finish first and get the first seed, but it'll give us a good feel, at least moving forward into the first round of the playoffs.
So before we get to St. Louis and what you're doing now, which is a crazy story, I know you don't, this is not a favorite time of your life, but it changed hockey. I just kind of going with the Eric Poulton hit, it kind of, your life was kind of changed in March 2010 when, for those that don't have to YouTube it, I'll just tell you, Marc's kind of across the ice and takes a shot, and a player, Matt Cook, comes from the opposite angle and just hits nothing but his head. Like, nothing but his head. One of the worst hits that we've seen, and he doesn't get suspended or a penalty. And it changed the game of hockey. My career ended from a stick in the eye. Yours ended from concussions, and we both kind of, you've moved on to be a coach, and I just drink in my basement now and hide from my kids. So we both have found different levels of happiness. But, one of the cool things about Savvy before I had you on, and I remember all the funny stories and the jokes, but I love doing my due diligence and doing research, and some of the stuff, like I had Ray Bork on and Eric Lindros and John LeClaire, and I think I know them, but you do so much reading about them, and there's some really stuff that kicks out that you're like, I didn't know this. Like, this is awesome. There was an amazing story about you, and it was the 2017 Players Tribune. And, mental health we all talk about that now today. Mental Health Day is a big day. But Savvy, you were one of the first people to voice it in 2017 in the Players Tribune, discussing about where you kind of were in your life playing hockey, and where you were actually at that in the moment, and some of the dark spots that you had gone to.
Very tough time in my life for sure. Great family around me though, which really helped. Doctors were fantastic in Boston. Peter Chiarelli was amazing through the whole time. They gave me a great opportunity to recoup, do what I needed to do to get better, and it was a long road. Dr. Steve Durant, shouts out to him out of Boston. He's helped Bergeron and a lot of those players up there through difficult times, and he really helped me. It was a lot of dark days, but, after I got through most of them, I got a great wife, and she's really supported me. If it wasn't for her, I probably wouldn't be back out doing anything like this, but she's pushed me out there, and it's been enjoyable getting back into hockey. But yeah, I went through a tough time there. And I'm glad that, I got a lot of good feedback after that article with a lot of people. So I'm glad I could help out in that way.
Well, one of the cool things was I like reading the comments too. And there's a lot of players that commented on it. Like,
yeah, there was. I heard from a lot of players, and, I'm glad they can come out too and share, because it's not the easiest thing to do when you're struggling through things. And to hear those guys come out and talk about it was great. And like I said, as long as I can open a door and let other people let stuff out, it was great. And I'm blessed that I could do that.
Brendan Dumas, 55, says, "Love you, Savvy," as you take a swig of your Perrier. It's hard with with all this, and I don't really want to dig or pry too much, but we had spoke back then. You had text you couldn't look at a TV or a light on for a long time, right?
No, I was pretty much living life backwards. I would sleep all day and then get up at night. It was just easier on me. And yeah, I turned pretty white. I look like an out of bounds steak, basically. So, I had to say that. So,
You've been holding on to that, eh? I hope I get to say it.
But we played golf the other day, and the pro at the golf course finally joined us for the first time. It was me, Chief, and Van Ryan. And he comes rushing over, and he's in shorts. Because, as you know, pros at golf course, they got to wear their pants. But it was a day off. He had the shorts on. And I go, boy, oh, boy, look at those two out-of-bounds steaks. His legs were as white as out-of-bounds steaks on a golf course. And none of the other guys had heard the joke before. It took us 5 minutes to tee off. We all had tears coming down our face. But anyways, I'm just glad I can enjoy those times again. And like you said, it was a tough go, but I am where I am today with a good support staff.
How'd you, Edward Cash, Missy and Boston Savvy came a long way. You were great to watch. How was it? How did you get through those? I know you're crediting the wife a lot, but I know we had text, and I know guys that have gone through it. You've probably gone through it worse than most. It changed hockey. Like that hit changed hockey. What happened to you changed hockey, and it changed you, and it changed a lot of us how we think of things.
There's definitely a rule out of it now. The blind side, obviously.
Yeah, sure.
And when you were, talking about the story, I don't love talking about it too much.
No, I know.
But
this is great.
This is fine. And like I said, if it helps other people, then it's good with me. But when I took that shot, if you watch it now, I didn't remember it all. The only time I see is when I see it myself. Right. But it was a good 3 second after the shot too. So the shot's taken.
Oh no, it's a terrible.
I'm ready. So you're totally at a point of it's like walking on the sidewalk. Someone comes flying across, punches you in the face. Your body's in a position where you don't expect anything's going to happen to you, right? You know what I mean? You're standing there and something drops on your head and you're in such shock from it. So that was the tough part too, is just, being out cold from who knows what, right? So, but again, yeah, there are dark days. And like I said, Dr. Duran, I went and saw him regularly. The team was great. Berge had just gone through it the year before from a hit from Jones from behind. I don't know if you remember that.
Sure.
So he missed the full season, so he was a good bouncing board for me to talk to. But it was a long road. It was a really long road.
Well, was hockey part of the medicine? Was that something that you always thought of?
So that is part of it because, and I mean, you've had your injuries. We've all had injuries, and it's get me back up on that horse. I want to go. And that year we this is a story that not too many people know about. That year we were in the playoffs in the first round. I'd been out 3 months, and the boys were on the road in the first series in Buffalo. So I'm like, God, I'm feeling good today. I'm going to go down to the rink. I'm going to go down the rink while the guys are on the road. This is the hockey player, right? And I'm going to get on the ice, and when I get back, I'm going to play. So that's what I'm thinking, right?
I know.
So I get out there. I get the guy from the rink's number, and I call him. I said, listen, I'm going to go down the rink. Can I get on the ice? And I'm feeling pretty good. I haven't done anything with doctors. I'm just this is what I'm doing. We're playing the Sabres in the first round. So I go down. He lets me skate. There are still, you play 2 games there. So I skate again. So I'm feeling really good. So I called Peter Chiarelli. I said, Pete, you'll never believe this. He's like, what? I'm like, I skated the last 2 days. I feel great. He's like, all kinds of F words coming out of his mouth. And it wasn't friends. But anyways, he didn't know what the hell I was doing. Why was I doing that? Anyway, I had to go through doctors and stuff. So I thought I was getting ahead of the game. But anyway, long story short, I came back, in the next series. I got skated pretty good and came back and then played that series against the Philly, and then basically had a little bit of a relapse from this thing and didn't make it in camp the following season. And
we're just happy. I think you were way ahead of your story after reading it. Was I know it's dark days. I didn't want to go back, but we're pioneering to that as well. So from teaching me how to pass for my 26 points to teaching people how to deal and talk about what you went through is I'm just giving you lots of love, and the game's really happy to have you back, which is the funniest thing possible. How the hell is Chief calling you while you're at home? They win the Stanley Cup and they're like, no, our power play is running at, I think, a 12% clip. I'm calling Savvy on the couch and I'm getting him in here to run our power play. Like, how did that go?
So it actually goes back to when Chief took over here as the interim coach. Never, got the interim tag. I played with Chief in Calgary. We were great buddies. We drove the rink every day and had waters all the time together. So we were good friends. And I was coaching and running some clinics back home. And, I had actually interviewed for the Oshawa Generals head coaching job. I was thinking about, I want to coach in the OHL. I want to help kids. That's my goal. And out of all this stuff, I tried, I was going to own a team, part team, but I didn't get into that right away. But that was my goal. So when Chief got this job, I gave him a call and I said, hey, I think I could help. This is before they won the Stanley Cup. And I said, I could help the power play, blah, blah, blah. I said, you couldn't shut me down on the power play when you were with Philly. So you know that. I'm good on the power play. You can't touch me, and I can help your power play. So we talk a bit. He's playing during the regular season. I'm getting a call the odd time from him saying, Savvy, help me. What's wrong with our power play? So we start doing this over the phone a bit, and I'm trying to help him out. And, so we went all the way through right to the last game talking, and then I was driving home, actually out to the cottage in the summer after they won the cup, and he calls me out of nowhere and he says, would you want to be an assistant coach? And I said, well, I'd have to talk to the family. I didn't think, I was going to do this stuff. So, but are you serious? He goes, yeah, well, don't get too excited. I still got to talk to the general manager, but, I'd love to have you come in and do, be, the power play guy, assistant coach. And I said, well, geez, that's great. I just won the cup. So yeah, I'll talk to. So anyways, long story short, I'm here, and it was a lot of fun first year. I had a lot of fun. The guys really respected, when I talked or, when I do video, I kept it loose, keep some jokes in there, keep the guys having fun, getting them to come in for video and loving, my videos because they're pretty funny. But but we had results early. So when we get results early, we got the guys' ears, and bang, we end up third in the league, and hopefully we can have a good run here in the playoffs in the power, because power play does get a lot tougher in the playoffs because you got guys laying down and all kinds of angles to block shots, right?
Limited time.
Exactly.
So for the bull crap, I don't want to swear because you're having waters. The bullshit of all of this. I drove with Chief when he was in Philadelphia. I drove with Craig Berube every day in Philadelphia. He stayed at my place. He ate my food, and I didn't even get a job to be like a trainer or a stick boy. That's kind of I'm sure.
Actually, our trainer retired the other day, so I'll talk to Chief if that's.
Sure, I'm in.
Okay.
I can carry sticks, man. Like, you don't understand how many sticks I can carry.
Oh,
I can just load me up.
We both know those guys have the toughest job.
They do, and they don't get any credit for it.
Zero.
And they're the backbone to every team. Blues notes in 18-19, they ran at a 21 clip. Playoff 16.3. Savvy on the power play brings it up to pretty much third in the league, which is around 24.3, which is almost 25%, one of every four power play, which is not. How's it changed from like when you're you're on the half wall and you'd love to slow the game down.
Yeah.
You had, not a big shooter. I know.
Yeah.
Not a big shooter because I had it. But
yeah.
Unbelievable passer, great vision. How has, obviously, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but the bumper guys shoot today are so much better than we played. But how has the game changed, and how have you changed the power play or adapted to it?
Well, I don't want to give all my secrets away here because I know a lot of people are watching.
It's only my mom watching.
Okay.
You know that. So.
Hi, Mrs. Stock. Don't tell anybody. Don't bring it to the Canadians because Claude would love to pick up on it. I don't want.
Claude would love. Yeah, and Claude knows exactly.
Yes. So no, where it's changed, PJ, just like you said, I used to stand on that half wall and try and suck guys in and make plays. Well, I've taken what I did and totally revamped it and made. I don't want guys holding the puck. I want it bang. I want it bang. I want it moving. I want it moving. If you had it too long. So that's been one of our main keys. The second big thing is inside the dots. When I used to stand there, I used to get outside to the wall get way wide in the zone. I want guys inside the dots. I want them tight. I want them in shooting positions, and I want the puck moving around. So we've been really successful with that. Perron's had a fantastic year. What a great shooter he is. He can score, boy. What a wrist shot. And then we've had Braden Shen on the other side, and Petro on the back end has been fantastic. It's been his best year in the power play. When I got there, they told me, he's not really a first power play guy. He might be no, this guy's our first power play guy. He's been at it all year. And then obviously the things Ryan O'Reilly does down low, the pucks, I've never seen anything like a guy.
I love that guy.
Back down puck stalker. You'd be amazed working with him every day. Scooping pucks off walls to keep him alive. And then you got Jaden Schwartz in front of the net, our rabbit that's working hard. It's been such a good mix. And unfortunately Tarasenko went down at early in the year because who knows, we might have been that much better. But these guys have really taken it upon themselves and just had a hell of a year. And Chief's really been great with me. Chief's just been like Savvy. I can't stick handle. I don't know what to do with the puck. I don't even have a stick anymore. He comes on the ice with no stick. Everybody's safer that way. But anyways, he just lets me run it. He lets me run it. Put out who you want to put out. Do what you got to do.
That's awesome.
And it's been really nice. It's been really nice. And, hopefully, like I said, playoffs, we got another phase coming. They laugh because I say I got phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4. Now phase 5 is about to kick in effect here. So hopefully phase 5 is as lucky as the other 4.
You mentioned a few guys. You played with Lucic in his prime. You had Ginla as a winger, Kovalchuk as a winger.
Glenn Murray, my boy
Muzz, who had the best release? I know today everyone has a real good release, but when you're going back,
it's tough to beat Kovalchuk. I mean, I got some, and I would pat. That's where I was on the half wall. He was on the cross point. People knew it was coming. It's kind of like the Ovechkin on the top of the circle.
You know what's coming.
I threw it over there. It's coming, and he's scoring. And then with him, you play with a lot of guys like, Glenn Murray's wheelhouse. I love Murr, but it was probably that big. Like you got to squeeze it in there,
Right.
Kovalchuk, front foot, back foot, over his head. He could get it off, right? So that was a pretty special time to be able to feed him pucks.
So how's the game changed from when those guys and all those names and I love when you make fun of Glenn had a small wheelhouse, but Muzz is a bud. So how's the game changed from then to today?
It's faster. It's softer a bit. We got to be honest. It's not what we played in. The kids nowadays too are different. Like coaches would come in and get on me a lot. And you don't see that anymore. There's no, stalker. Come on, buddy. You're -2 tonight. You can't be out there anymore for a goal against. You know what I mean? It's no one-on-one now. Everything's associated as a team. And Chief's great. I've learned so much from Chief, and really trusting in his veterans. He's kept that alive. Where I think a lot of coaches put rookies right in second line spots or first line spots. He's that true guy that you got to work for your spot, which I've loved this year, because a couple of times I've gone to him and go like, put Robert Thomas there. And, he's like, settle down. So I've learned a lot from him that way, really trusting the veterans. But again, the speed of the game, the work ethic of these guys now is, top notch.
What do you, and I deal with it coaching teenagers. You're dealing with kids that are now adults, but they're kind of been taught under that same umbrella. And I know you're trying to be PC about it. And what's the hardest part about coaching the kids today? I mean, they're just. I know they're just raised differently than you and I. And
yes,
some of the coaches that raised us are getting in trouble nowadays. And there was a right to then. There was also a wrong to then. I guess in the world today we're living in. But how what's an obstacle? What's an obstacle with coaching the players of today? Well,
and I can, talk about what you're talking about. I coached the kids too before I did this. I coached my kids. Actually, my youngest son's with the Greyhounds. He'll be with the Super
Greyhounds.
Greyhounds.
Awesome.
Yeah, so Tyler's 17. He'll be with the Greyhounds this year. He was drafted there last year. He'll be playing this year. So, but I coached his team, and I coached my oldest son Zachary's team in AAA in Peterborough. And I think the thing that the parents struggle with, and if you get it out early out of them, you're golden, is where they are on the totem pole, where their kid is on the pole. Because we're all the same. We're human, right? Like, my kid's great. My kid's great. You know what I mean? Yeah, he is a good player, but is he better than these three? Yeah.
Right.
I don't nah, I don't think so, right? So you got to know where they are, and I think that makes life easier. And even in the NHL now, you know what I mean? There's steps. There's guys that play ahead of you. Sure, we want you to play the best, and there might be times in the game where you play more than them, but you know, you got to work. This guy's worked hard. O'Reilly's worked hard his whole career, and for Robert Thomas to surpass O'Reilly is going to take a lot more work.
Obstacle coming back from quarantine for you guys?
It's our team's been really good. Team's been really good. We've been, we've been eating in the house a lot, trying to stay away. You know, we golf, and I've been running outside because we're not going to get outside very much.
How's the golf game?
Really solid, thank you. Yeah, I've been playing a lot. Love the game. I'm a zero. I've been a zero for a while, but playing in tournaments now, that's been my thing. I play in mid-ams, club championships. I've been able to win a couple of those. So, but I love the game. Love playing it. We've been playing every day here with Chief and Rhino and Otter. And yesterday we got to play Belle Reve with the Army. Armstrong's a member, Doug Armstrong and Al McInnes. So we had a beautiful day. But, yeah, we got to get outside as much as we can. And, jogging or going golfing is pretty, easy for not getting too much COVID around you, I guess.
Did you say you're jogging?
Yeah, I run every morning. That's been my thing.
Like, seriously?
Yeah, but I got this foot I broke way back, and the doctor said to me, and this is the hockey player again, like, Savvy, like, you'll heal in a month with that broken foot, but if I do surgery, you'll be out 6 months, and you'll be fine. But if you'll heal in a month, you might have trouble down the road with that foot.
So you're like,
so I said I want to play, so I waited a month. Now I'm starting to feel it. Foot's killing me.
I know you're right. I don't want to take much more of your time. I just can't believe Berube called you instead of me, because my power play numbers are pretty spectacular. But a couple questions before you let you go. By the way,
no rush.
Are you in your bathroom? What are you in right now? Is that your? Chief have you in like a back room? What does he have?
Chief has 0 pictures in this place, so
I'll send him something.
Sitting by the fireplace.
To send him.
I just cleaned my clubs because we're playing tomorrow. Got them all shined up over there. That's about it. And then we got a TV and Perrier and
how'd you get Perrier into the pick? Because that's pretty impressive.
Did it? Yeah. I don't know. Perrier sponsors me, I guess.
Yeah. Favorite restaurant in the league?
Favorite restaurant in the league. I like that St. Paul Grill in Minnesota. I don't know why. I just love it. It's right in the hotel. I don't like to leave the hotel very much, so St. Paul Grill right there. I like it.
You see the Manning, Tiger Woods, Brady, Mickelson?
Yes.
If you could pick a pro to play with against another pro and another player, who would you pick?
I'd obviously take Tiger. I got to play Tiger.
You got to love Tiger.
You got to love Tiger. If you don't love Tiger, you don't love golf to me. And then Phil, probably. Mickelson.
It's great. It is golf, though, isn't it? It's the best rivalry. And
It is. And I don't know. I'd take Chief out there because I just like beating him. It's fun, you know what I mean? Taking his money, and he's trying to chirp. Don't think about this. The water left. He just, before you hit your shot, he's all over you, and then he's done. But anyway, I'd take him.
Does he use his teeth in the game when he golfs? Teeth in?
Yeah, he keeps them in. And they're full. I think they're in there now. They're locked in.
Did he get the good veneers, like the good veneers?
Yeah, he's got a couple longer than other ones, but that's no.
He's got. Hey, they're all there.
No, they're all there.
I got like a hole back here that I got to get fixed.
Yeah.
And I went for the half price deal on one right here.
Oh.
Like, it's a little short and brown.
Okay. Yeah.
It's at the time.
Yeah.
At the time, it was okay. It was half price.
Yeah.
We didn't make the same money. Like I said, my 26 points and you're 706. I'm like, hey, we can put a brown one in there that looks like a little stud, but you'll be able to chew a carrot, or You know?
I got one more good story too. Back in Hartford when we were playing, and we won't use the guy's name because insurance purposes. But do you remember someone went skiing one day?
Yeah, Mike Martin.
Okay.
We can do, Savvy, we can do that now.
Okay. Well, anyways, Mike Martin went he was going to do snowboarding, blew out his back, couldn't even get down the hill. We had to slide him down the hill. We got him to practice the next day, and Tim was our trainer then. Remember his
Tim
name?
Ackley. This was Buffalo.
Said, Timmy, we got problems here. We got, he said, just get him on the ice, guys. We had to tie his skates, get him out there. So lay him down in the corner. Oh boy!
I told him that he tripped on a puck.
Yeah.
So we were for those listening, Savvy's laughing through the story, but we had a guy that got hurt skiing. We put him in a hot tub and gave him Advil for a couple of days while the guys kept skiing. Brought him back to the rink, dressed him up in full gear, and we got to the rink early too. We got to the rink early, which we never did. We're all ready to go, stick in our hand. We're ready, coach. We're ready, coach. And we went on early and threw him down in the corner. Timmy! Mike fell.
Oh, that was a good one.
Hey, question. What's we got, and I forget who asked the question before, but someone asked, what's the difference? Because you got to pick from the AHL as well, right? What's the difference between the AHL of our day versus the AHL of today? And we don't have to tell our AHL stories.
Yeah.
We can just say the difference of today.
Yeah. Well, I think the kids coming up today are in these hockey camps all year round, and they're going, where we took 3 months off, came back and played. I just think that the competition is at a higher level. There's so many more good players, I think. When we played, you had good players, but there was some weaker ones. But I think now, there are all these prospects. They're well trained. They're all, scouted so often. I think there's just the competition level's that much higher, I think. And, fortunate for me, the route I took quickly was I played in the NHL first 15 games. Then I came to the American League. So I felt like I was, ahead of the game right away when I came there. Instead of going from junior to the American League to the NHL, I went junior, NHL back to the AHL, and I felt really good starting off there. But again, it's probably just the parity of these kids nowadays.
Gigo Terrain, I hope I'm saying that right, asked that question. It's Savvy. I'm not a betting man, but hypothetically I was. I love your team. If I had to bet $20 on you guys, how confident are you guys right now? How healthy is everybody?
Well, that's the big thing, right? We're, as every other team is, real healthy. We got everybody going. Vladdy's can't wait to get into a game, and our lines are dialed in. We got good lines. We got 4 strong lines. Binnington's Binnington, so he's going to be stellar when playoffs come around. You cannot phase that guy. And our defense core. We have the best defense core in the National Hockey League. So
pretty much,
I think that's what does it. Some nights we don't play great, but you ain't getting by our 6 defensemen. So, and our hidden gem in all of this, Petro's been phenomenal. Should have got Norris candidate, but this Parayko boy, he's a hockey player.
You're kind of in one of those. I know it's St. Louis and you won the cup, but from doing TV, Savvy, it's kind of like one of those in those holes, like the Minnesota, the middle, like they love their East Coast and their West Coast. Those teams in the middle time zone don't get enough love. And Parayko's been what is he, 6'6", right-handed shot, could fly.
6'7".
6'7".
Caught McKinnon on a breakaway this year.
Yeah. No,
that's not right.
Your defense core is stupid. So, okay. So you're in the final, okay?
Okay.
Hypothetically, we had $20 to bet on who's going to be on the East side. Who do you like coming out of the East?
Well, I mean, another great year from the Bruins, and I get ridden around here for the Bruins stuff, obviously. But
I got it on my shoulder, dude. It's no problem. I can put the helmet on too if you want it.
Put the helmet on. Put the helmet on. Make me feel better.
And tell Chief, I could carry sticks, hey, buddy?
Yeah,
I can carry sticks. I
we
can
don't let
carry
him have
golf
those.
clubs.
We don't let him have sticks around. They're not good for him or anybody else. Yeah.
I can carry golf clubs. I can tell them I'm around.
Yeah.
I'm free.
I'll tell him you're free. But anyways, yeah, I just think that Boston's had a great year. I mean, Tampa hasn't proven it yet, and but Boston is gonna. I could see a rematch if we play as good as we think we can. But it's gonna be tough. There's some good teams out here in the West, and that's another thing too. And I
betting $25, Savvy. Give me the inside scoop. I need to double it. I didn't get 706 points in all the free blades. Again, I had to steal your blades.
Okay, now just explain this to me. Last thing I'm gonna touch on for me, and then you can ask me whatever you got to ask me. How does our buddy Chief? I know he maybe because he dissed you and you didn't give him a vote, but how does he not be up for Coach of the Year this year? Explain that to me. No Vladdy. Let me just tell you. No Vladdy Tarasenko all year.
Yeah.
Guy has a heart attack on the bench this year. Jay Bouwmeester. Okay, that wasn't easy either, by the way. That was not easy. Every team in our division made the playoffs. We're first. So, and no Stanley Cup hangover. I don't know.
Because it's easy. I'm not on the staff. Why didn't he hire me up? Actually, I think that's one of the things that I hate the people that vote. I really do. And you know why, again, I say it?
Yeah.
It's a lot of the times, it's the people in the – I was happy to see Yossi get a nomination from Nashville. A lot of our awards are won East Coast. Like, it's very East – it's so East Coast. Like, your goalie's had a great year. You had guys that had great years, but Carey Price is always in the top conversation of goalie of the year, and he's really, really good. But there's some goalies that do some amazing stuff in the Midwest as well. We just don't have – they don't have the time to watch all those games. There's a lot of people that vote for the same awards, and some people get overlooked very often. And I have some guys that I absolutely love, and I want them to do really well, and Craig Berube is one of them. And I think the hardest thing is doing the back-to-back on the shortened season and adding the injury to your best player. Well, I don't want to say your best player. One of your most talented offensive weapons, and still find ways to get better, as all the teams around you got better as well.
Oh yeah.
So I'm with you 100%. But he doesn't get my vote because I didn't get hired.
Yeah, I know, and that's what I was going back to.
That's kind of So now you know why.
Yeah.
So
I understand.
Anyways.
Yeah.
I know you got a lot going on. It looks like you got to go paint. Is that all? Is the whole place gray with white blinds?
I think it's an off-white. Yeah. We got a nice fireplace, though. But St. Louis is the hottest spot in the world, by the way. Like, that's the other thing. I step outside, 10 pounds I lose. Like, it's so hot.
So how heavy were you before you started this then?
I think I touched 255. I was like, yeah. So I'm down 35. Like, my arteries were clogged there for a while. Like when I was hanging out with Chief, and I'm like, I got to do something, or I'm not going to be here anymore. So yeah, I turned things around here and went hard, but it's good. It's a new way.
Before your next Insta Live, go a few times out in the sun before you do one of these. Because camera adds 10 pounds.
Does it?
Yeah.
Well, you're sitting 3 blocks away from it. So is that what I should do?
No, you looks like you have like 3 cameras on you right now.
Oh, well, I got all kinds of cameras, but anyway.
Yeah. But you look great. I'm so happy you're doing really well. And I'm happy you're surrounded with great people. I love Craig Berube is who he's talking about, one of the better people. Sometimes people get stereotyped because of the role they played in hockey. And Craig was one of those guys that was a real tough player that played a real tough way. And not everyone kind of thinks they know the game of hockey the right way because they played a certain way. And I love the guy. So I think I'm so happy for him and happy he's doing so well. So congratulations to you. Again, going back the past where you came from to where you are. Congratulations to Berube, his family. Congratulations to your team. Nothing but class.
And thanks for having me on. And I am going to leave with one more thing with the you said I was a hockey equipment guy, used all kinds of stuff, but I did end up settling on Warrior. And I see my guy Chris Paul popping in and out here. I love Warrior. They were the best to me. I used them for the last 8 to 10 years of my career. So they were my favorite. Not going to lie, Dan McCrone's beauty. They really took care of me for most of my career. So they're great guys.
I know. Warrior, that's my drinking buddy. That's his Chris Paul, we love you. We all love you. And Warrior making some. It's amazing how many players in the league use Warrior sticks now. Like their sticks have changed the game.
Well, yeah. Well, they watched me play with them, right? I had every color you can ever buy, and I was a bit of a stick user. There's another word for that, but I won't use it here. But a stick user. So yeah. All right. So, but anyway, thanks for having me on, buddy. We're gonna get in this bubble here, and we're gonna be stuck inside for a while.
Kick some butt. Enjoy it. Congratulations on everything.
Okay, buddy. Thanks, buddy.
For everybody. Cheers, guys.